Then I got a phone call from one of my old colleagues and he said, I've got a new job in telecoms. You need to speak to this guy. I drove to Southampton to go and meet this guy. And he's like, what do you know about our industry? I'm like, absolutely nothing. He's like, we'll get back to you, we'll think about it. I said, no, you won't. How much does your top salesperson earn you? He said, I have 3 or 4 million a year. Okay. So you're looking at 3 or 4 million a year across the table. If you want it to walk out the door, it can walk out the door. If you don't, I'll start on Monday. My first paycheck was like 23,000 something. Start a dream job, getting put on planes, you're going to different countries, but you're still coming out with like 13 grand a month every month. I'd spend it every month. They would put you in a position where they made you feel like you had to spend it. That suit's not nice enough. You're the linchpin that everyone's looking up to, you've got to have a better car than that. Because the mindset was, you'll then chase it again the next month. I went downstairs to buy a meal deal for my dinner. My card declined for a meal deal. That I always say, that was the point where my life changed. Why do we need these two that own the business? You don't hear from them, they don't help you. Well, why do we need them? We can do this ourselves.
We're rolling.
Right, we're going.
We're live.
So, number 9.
I think so.
Yeah, so today we've got Dean Zendry. Said that right?
Just there or thereabouts, mate,
Thereabouts.
yeah.
So,
Z scares everyone, that's what it is.
Introduce yourself. Who are you?
I guess these days, I'm a tech entrepreneur. Used to be a high caliber sales professional, but like anybody that does well for somebody else, you're trying to find ways of doing it for yourself. So I guess I kind of took the plunge, and I guess that's what I'd call myself now, tech entrepreneur. Well,
Tech entrepreneur. So you run your own company, don't you?
Yes.
Highcom.
Yeah, that's right.
So how did that come about? Where did it all start and stem from?
So I was a salesperson in the same industry, in the telecommunications industry for another company.
Where was this?
This was where? So the company was based in Southampton.
Right.
They'd heard of me through just in this type of sales environment. If you do well in a company, your name starts getting around that type of environment. So they kind of headhunted me and said, look, we can pretty much give you what you're getting without traveling, because the company I was in before that was an audio branding agency, and I used to get sent to Australia, South Africa, Singapore, America, Canada, Ireland. Now that sounds great, right? But when you're doing it every weekend for 4 years, and you sat in a hotel on your own all the time, it's like
it's long.
It gets long, yeah, for real. So I wanted to put some roots down and sort of sit and be in the same place, because I was never in the same place for more than a few weeks. And if it was the same place for more than a few weeks, it's a foreign country where I didn't know anybody. And for places like Singapore, like to try and communicate with people, it's not easy, right?
What does it entail when you're there? What are you doing?
So the audio branding agency, what they still do now, is when you're on hold and transfer for a company, instead of hearing really bad music or beeps or silence, they do professionally voiced bespoke messages. So best example I'll give you, if you had a BMW and you rang them up, it'll tell you about servicing, it'll tell you about winter tyre check, it'll tell you about A, B, C and D. They provide that for all the biggest companies in the world, but then they do it for small and medium-sized enterprises as well. So they use the fact that they do it for those bigger companies to target small and medium-sized enterprises by saying, look, you can sound as professional as this, and it only costs X, Y, and Z.
Is that a hard thing to set up then?
Yeah, well, the thing is with our role and our job, a lot of the hard work was done for you. So the meetings were booked for you by a group of people in the office in Manchester. So they would work the hours that were adjacent to the country that they were working. So if they were doing Australia, for example, they'd work Australian hours. If they were doing America, they'd work US hours, so on and so forth. So they would book the meeting, so your diary's pre-booked for you before you fly out to the country. You would have 2, 3, 4 meetings pre-booked each day. There's a demo created for you already of how that company could sound. So a team have put together a demo of that company, what they do, who they are. When you play that to somebody who owns that company, you see how powerful that is straight away when they hear how they sound currently with like really bad music or Green Sleeves or Valkyrie Cry or whatever it might be, and then you play them the same call with the information on about their business. They can't not buy it. It almost embarrasses them into buying it, because how can you think you're a professional when you sound like that, when you could sound like this, and it's only going to cost you X, Y, and Z. So my job was going out, sitting those meetings, closing deals, bringing in new business. And that was literally what you did every day, day in, day out. As soon as you close a deal, you pass it on to another team. They deal with it. You never speak to that person again. Gets dealt with by somebody else. You go on to the next one.
So who were some of the big clients that you got then?
Coca-Cola, Samsung, Adidas, Audi. I could go on, Hapag Lloyds, I could go on and on and on and on and on. They do literally all the biggest companies you've ever heard of, they do.
And so, if you're closing that deal, are you getting sort of like good conversation for that.
I'll admit it, I'm quite open and honest about it. The company changed my life. I went from the company I worked before that, I was probably earning 33, 34, 35 grand a year. I thought I was balling out because that's not bad money, right?
Yeah.
I thought I was balling out. Then went to work for that company and it's like 150 grand a year. So you going to all these different countries, spending time there. That's what I'm saying at the start. It's like a dream job, right? You're getting put on planes, you're going to different countries, traveling the world, selling a product that's world class. It's quite easy to sell if you're doing it in the right way and getting paid really well. But after like 3 or 4 years of it, there's no amount of money that can give you your freedom back or give you your, I want to say sanity back, because the way that you were controlled by that company, I got told what I could wear, who I could hang around with, what I could say, what I could post on social media. It was like,
intense.
It was, real bad. Like the mental health side of it wasn't really a thing back then, but the mental health side of it had a massive impact. I remember being in tears multiple times, not being able to do things or not being able to go places because I was being dictated to all the time. Because why would you want to put yourself in a situation where they can take all that away from you? So you've created that wealth, that money that you're earning, that comes with a new lifestyle, right? Comes with nice this, nice that, nice holidays, nice here, but they can just take that away from you like that. So you kind of have to adhere to what they're saying. So you end up in a bubble where you don't want to adhere to what they're saying, but if you don't, you're going back to where you was before, or so you think, right? That's how they have you think, that they control everything you do and they can just take it away from you as easy as they gave it to you.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's quite intense.
No, it was. I think that was when I first met you. In fairness, it was that sort of time.
Yeah.
That I was doing that.
And that is that when it sort of hit its peak, and then you realised it was getting too much for you mentally, and then you thought,
absolutely.
I can take. But I assume you knew, you had your confidence in yourself that you could take it your own way.
The initial idea with a couple of other lads that I worked with was to do that for ourselves, because they're such a premium product that they try and price it so high that a lot of these smaller companies couldn't afford it or they wouldn't pay it. So there was a massive market there for those companies that didn't want to pay that but might have paid a little bit less. So example, say it was 150 quid a month, company might have took it 75 or 50 pound a month, but they weren't interested because they don't want to devalue their product. We supply the biggest companies in the world, therefore that's what our cost is. If you don't like it, don't have it. So there was a massive market there to do it less. So the initial conversations were around doing that. Then I got a phone call from one of my old colleagues and he said, you need to speak to this guy. He's been asking about you. I've got a new job in telecoms. I didn't even know what that was. He said, I've got a new job in telecoms selling phone systems. They set the meetings up for you just the same as they do at the current company, but you're in the UK and you only work 4 days a week, Monday to Thursday, Friday you ain't got to work. I'm like, tell him to ring me.
Yeah.
Tell this guy to ring me.
3-day weekend.
Yeah, I'm like, tell this guy to ring me.
So it's what you were doing kind of already, but
In a different industry.
Yeah.
Right? So I got this invitation to go down. I drove to Southampton to go and meet this guy. I can't remember where I was. I think I might have been Norwich or somewhere. And on the day I was working, got that phone call, got in the car, drove down to Southampton because I wanted to show that I was keen and I was willing and I was,
up for it.
Exactly. So when I got there, I had the conversation with the guys, like, what do you know about our industry? I'm like, absolutely nothing. He's like, to get this job, you really need to have like between 3 and 5 years experience in our industry. I mean, I'll learn, don't worry. I've got the raw skill set that you need. I can learn product knowledge. I can learn what the solutions do. I can learn this, I can learn that, don't worry. He's like, we'll get back to you, we'll think about it. I said, no, you won't. I've driven nearly 200 miles to come and see you. If you think I'm going away here without a yes or a no, you're mad. I said, how much does your top salesperson earn you? He said, I have 3 or 4 million a year. I said, okay. So you're looking at 3 or 4 million a year across the table. If you want it to walk out the door, it can walk out the door. If you don't, I'll start on Monday. I literally just closed my mouth, held my hand out, and he just smiled and laughed. He went, I like you. Shook my hand. So I couldn't start on Monday, but the point was to try and show them that I can close deals.
Do you think it would have been a different outcome if you didn't have that sort of spur of confidence in that moment to say, give me a yes or no answer?
Absolutely, because that's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Because they want to employ somebody that's going to do that in their meetings. But that's what had been battered into me for the last 4 years. Because where we talked about that previous company being intense, if you didn't close a deal, you'd have to ring and you'd have to tell the sales director why you didn't get it. Now, that was scarier sometimes than putting it on somebody in a meeting. You'd rather somebody kick you out of their business that you're never going to see ever again than ring the sales director to say, I didn't get this because X, Y, and Z. That was a scary conversation having that.
I think you can get it into your own mental that you're not going to see these people again, whereas your director, you are going to have to keep coming back to him. So they're just expendable to you, really.
Exactly that. And it's strange when you put people on the spot like that, when you actually dress it up and you give them all the reasons why they should do something, and there's not many reasons why they shouldn't. If you do have that confidence and you do literally do what I've just there and put it on people, you'd be amazed how many people just put their hand out and shake their hand. A lot of it time it's out of fear because they don't want to say no. And a lot of our business was done like that. It was almost like, I would say
intimidation. Almost,
yeah, it was. I don't want to use the
It's
word
confidence though, isn't it?
That's it, exactly that. And in some of the other countries like Singapore, you bang on the table. You'd be banging on the table, yes or no, yes or no, and they loved it. And because you banged on the table and you had that confidence, they'd be like, okay. But if you didn't do that, they would just chuck you, fob you off and chuck you out. So it was an enjoyable environment to be in, but like I said, it took its toll. But it did give me that skill set to be able to go and have that conversation. Got into this telecoms industry in 2018. That I always say that was the point when my life changed, because I went from, like I said, 30 odd thousand to 150 odd thousand, literally like that overnight.
Okay.
So
was it hard to adjust though? Because I can imagine that's getting that kind of money is.
From a council estate, I've never seen money like that. I didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
I thought it was a joke when I went for the interview there, and they're saying, "Oh, people earn this much money." I'm like, "It can't be real." Like, what do you do for that money? They're like, "Just close the deal." I'm like, "Well, at my current company, I book my own meetings. I sit in my own meetings. I do all the admin after. I follow this up. I do that and I do the other, and I'm getting nowhere near that. So I don't really understand. So you come, unless you've been in that environment, it's difficult to comprehend." But I was like, "Look, show me someone that's doing it." He said, "I'll tell you what, I'll show you. I'm trying to sack people that are on 85 grand a year." And I went, "Wow." But the first month that I went into that company, I thought there was 25, 30 salespeople on the road. I was the youngest. I was the youngest by a mile. They'd never employed somebody as young as me. I say young because it makes me feel better now. In 2015, how many years ago is that now? 7? Is it 7?
Scarily about, yeah.
8.
Yeah.
So I'd have been just turning 30. I'd have been 29, just about to turn 30. And I always remember I've got my little goal sheet, and one of my goals was I wanted to be on 6 figures by the time I got to 30. So it tied in lovely. But that first month, they sent me to South Africa. So I've literally just got the job. They sent me on a trip to South Africa because I've got no kids, no wife, I can't say no. And the company was 20 years old at the time. I broke the all-time company record in my first month. My first paycheck was like 23,000 something. I've still actually got the pay slip at home that I've kept just to look at, because that was the moment where everything changed.
It's like the Wolf of Wall Street. Show me a check for 7 grand. I'll quit my job
and work for you.
Yeah.
It was one of them like surreal moments where I just went, fucking hell, this is real.
This is
like,
it.
This is happening.
This is money I can spend.
And I'm like, this ain't hard to obtain. I can do this again next month. And it gets you in this weird mindset where, somebody said it to me when it first happened, the more you earn, the more you'll spend, because you'll spend to your means. If you've got that money there, you spend it. And trust me, every month for nearly 4 years, I'd have nothing left. I'd spend if I was getting all that money, obviously in that environment you're paying 45% tax or whatever, but you're still coming out with like 10, 11, 12, 13 grand a month every month. I'd spend it every month, because they would put you in a position where they made you feel like you had to spend it. That suit's not nice enough. Where you got that from? All right, okay. So always giving you like subliminal, subconscious things of maybe I need to spend a bit more on my suits. You can't drive that car. You're the top BDM that we've got, the top salesperson. You're the linchpin that everyone's looking up to. You've got to have a better car than that. They would always try and find ways to get you to spend more money, because the mindset was you'll then chase it again the next month, and you'll chase it again the next month. They'd always put you in like nice hotels, because again, you're spending the money on the food, or you're going out in the areas that you're in. So they'd always find a way to get you to spend it. Going back to the telecom situation, like I said, I knew nothing about it, but for me it was trying to earn the same money that I was earning without going different countries all the time and staying in hotels and being away from people, and trying to have some actual relationships at home with people, because I was not seeing people for months and months and months on end, or you're just texting people or whatever it might be. So there was part of it that was amazing, but there's the part that people don't see.
So what was like the day-to-day like at the second job then? Obviously, you originally said that you were selling telecom systems that would talk, or better than play music, basically.
Yeah. So that where it tied in was the telecoms company that I went to, a company called Nix. A part of the package that they offered had that on-hold production in it. So the way that he was looking at it, if he can charge 150 quid a month for an additional product that we give away for free with our telecom systems, how much can he make me selling phone systems? That was his thought process. Whereas for me, it started to have this thought process of, I want to start doing something for myself now. I know I've got a skill set. I know I'm good at this. How can I start doing it for myself? So the way that it worked in telecoms was no salary, zero, no basic salary whatsoever. It's commission only. So if you don't sell a phone system, you ain't eating. You don't sell a phone system, you ain't paying the mortgage, your rent, whatever it might be, right? So got to January 2020, I'd won salesperson of the year in my first year at the new company. Cleaned the floor with everybody because I was just undercutting everyone's cost. So I cleaned the floor with everyone, and that next year looking at trying to win it again. And then I started to see what was happening. The owner was selling to another company. The other company had been in, done their due diligence, basically picked the company up by its ankles, shook it up and down to see what fell out. And you knew these people weren't there for any other reason than something's going on here, they're trying to buy it. So just asked him outright, what are you doing? He's like, yeah, that's what's happening. There's a sale going through and they're just doing the due diligence. So at that point, I'm like, I need to start making some moves on my own here, because if I don't get on with these new people, they were a lot more corporate than he was. I'm not really a corporate type of fit. I like to do my own thing, especially after being in that environment previously. So it was a case of, right, who do I speak to, or who knows somebody that might be able to help me? And one of the sales managers there said, I can introduce you to a couple of guys in Southampton who own a small telecoms company, really small, but they want to make it grow, and they probably give you some shares to do that. So I went and had a meeting with them. This was the end of January 2020. Went and had a meeting with them, and the meeting was around that, basically. I'll come in and work for you, do the same job that I do now, but I want 25% of the business. So they went away. I went away. It kind of fiddled out for a few weeks. Then all of a sudden, COVID. Furlough. Remember furlough?
Yeah.
Some people thought it was the best thing in the fucking world, right? Sit at home, get paid, drink on house party or whatever it was, have a great time. Not when you're on commission only, it ain't, because there's nothing to pay you. So they gave us like a token, whatever it was, 1,200 quid a month. So you've gone from like 20 grand a month to 1,200 quid. You can't live on 1,200 quid when you've been living on 20 grand. It's not possible. You've built a lifestyle that's there that you need to obtain all the time. You can't start living it. So I had to move back into my mum's house, because again, I was spending the money every month. Moved back into my mum's house. How long is this COVID going to last? People didn't know if it was going to be a couple of days, a couple of weeks, or the way it ended up. Some telecoms companies on furlough for like 8 months. So they didn't.
I was on furlough for 8 months.
See what like? Have you got experience of it yourself?
No, I've just been making YouTube videos all my life.
So you got away with it.
COVID don't care about his YouTube.
Yeah, it was sound for me, to be fair.
That was a great time for you then, because
it was
plenty of content, right? But that was just a big shock of, fuck, what am I going to do? So I rang the guys that I'd met, said, look, do you want to do this? We had another meeting, we agreed to do it, and I did it on a handshake. So I owned 25% of this company on a handshake, right? What I then did was I started making some phone calls. I rang a few people that I thought I could put together in a team to help me do what I'd been doing at Nick's. So that was a case of getting people on the phone, ringing companies, cold calling them to book meetings for me to go out and sell them the phone system, right? It was a fucking brilliant time to do it, because the only people that were in businesses at that time was the owners, because everybody else they'd furloughed. So the only people answering the phone was the owners of the business.
Top dogs, yeah.
Which, that's the hardest thing to do, is get through to the right person. So where all these telecoms companies have gone, nah, this can't be done, you can't go out and visit people, you're on furlough, see you whenever, they missed a massive opportunity of, hang on a minute, every company you're calling it, it's the right person you're getting through to. So drafted in a bunch of people, taught them a script, told them, look, this is what you say on the phone, this is what we're trying to do, we're trying to give them systems that are able to work remotely, which will help with the current climate and reduce their costs, which again, people are going to want to do, given what's happening in the world at the moment. And fuck me, just like that, it just went off straight away, with meetings getting booked every day. I was going out doing deals every day. I was doing more deals than I was in the previous company, because like I said, you just get in front of the right people straight away. The accountant for that company, I met him after the first month, and he said, can I have a word? I said, Joey, what's up? Do you realise you've turned over more this month than they have the last 5 years? And now that was the first red flag where I went, 5 years? Okay. Because I didn't think we'd had a particularly spectacular month, but it was good. Yeah, we did well. We were doing deals every day.
Compared to your previous job?
Yeah, it was about the same sort of levels that we were doing. Maybe a couple more. It was maybe equivalent to 2 people on the road instead of 1 person on the road, right? So that was May 2020. Did the same again in June. We did really well again in June. July, we did really well. But at this time, by the way, the people that are on the phone, they're all at their own houses. They're all working from an app on their mobile phone. So they're in their pants or whatever they are. I don't know what they're doing in the garden or whatever it might be. Just ringing through data, cold calling people. There's no office. You've not got any camaraderie or togetherness or anything of the sort. You're just talking on a WhatsApp. So they're booking meetings from where they are. I'm driving to these meetings to do them. And we'd put little incentives on. So we put an incentive on. If we hit so many deals, we'll take the team to Ibiza in the July. Now, you couldn't really go to Ibiza at the time because clubs was closed and whatever, but turned out if you booked a nice villa and you put some decks and speakers in there, you could get away with a party or two. So we agreed that that's what we would do. We'd book a villa, we'd pay for everybody, we'd give them like an allowance of this is how much money we're going to spend if you hit this target. So obviously everyone's working hard because that's the idea of that incentive to get everybody.
How many people, sorry?
We had 8 at the time, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we had 8 people at the time, if I remember rightly. Yeah, between 5 and 8. They weren't less than 5, but they weren't more than 8. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but between those numbers, right? And we did it well again June, we did well again July, and it was the end of July that we went to Ibiza. And the first 2 phone calls I made when I started that team was a guy called Liam and the guy called Aaron were the first 2 calls I made. I rang Liam and I started pitching him the idea and he went, whoa, don't tell me anymore. It's your idea, it's you, I'm in. I back it regardless, I trust you, I'm in. Nice and easy. Aaron, on the other hand, I tried to pitch and it was, I've got a really good job in the Shard in London, I'm not sure it's worth the risk. A couple of weeks later, he rang me back and he'd been put on furlough then and he went, I might try and earn a bit of extra money whilst I'm on furlough. So they were the first 2 calls that I made. In between that, I made some other calls. Girls that I knew had a bit of chat about them and probably could do with earning some extra money on the side. People that I'd worked with in sales before that I thought would be useful. Because people were on the furlough, they were getting paid, but we were paying them commission only for generating the leads. So if they generated a lead and I went and signed it, they would get paid 500 quid, I think it was back then. So it was a nice, easy way for people just to earn a bit more money on the side without leaving their house or doing anything spectacular or over the top, right, other than just making a few phone calls. We got them into the villa in Ibiza, and I remember being in a pool with Aaron and Liam. It's a rooftop pool. It used to be called Soul House. I think it's called Inside Ibiza now. It's probably the best rooftop pool in Ibiza. Cocktail in hand, we're in the pool, and we looked at each other and went, we can fucking do this ourselves, by the way. Why do we need these 2 that own the business who get up at fucking 11 or 12 o'clock? You don't hear from them. They don't help you. They don't really do anything other than pretend they know what they're talking about. Why do we need them? We can do this ourselves. I said, I've got a name for it. I've got a slogan for it. I think we should just fucking do it.
So can you swap your clients over to your new company?
That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
It's a bit fucking underhand and a bit naughty.
Yeah.
But
You're sweetening it up with the deal, though, aren't you?
the thing was, like, I knew the people that we were working with, no disrespect to them, but they're, his word incompetent's probably a bit strong, but fuck
you were pulling the
they were incompetent, mate, and they couldn't move at the same fucking pace that we were moving at, nowhere near, right? And that was proven when we went in the first month and they said you've turned over more in the first month than turned over in the last 5 years, right?
It's unfair to you to not go on your own.
No disrespect to them, but like they couldn't move at the pace that we wanted to move at, right? So it was a natural progression to want to do that. We didn't think it would happen that quickly, but that was a plan. So the plan was, let's start getting some of these clients in the new company name so there's some money in the new company account before we move over. So we're nice and comfortable, we ain't got to worry, money in the bank.
You're not starting from zero.
Not starting from zero, there you go, right? So this is like, we're probably start of August now. By the way, I'm still on furlough from Nick's, from the other telecoms company, right? And I'm using their company car to go to the meetings for the second telecoms company. It's got a tracker in it. They're obviously not tracking it because they're not at work. Now,
whilst you're starting a company as well.
There you go. So I'm almost involved in fucking 3 telecoms companies here at one point. We got back from Ibiza and I'd driven to the airport. Car was there, got in the car, drove home, didn't think anything of it. Now, I found out later on that about an hour after I got to the airport to the car, the company that I'd got the company car from had sent somebody to go and fetch it because they'd heard that I was involved in another telecoms company and I was out selling phone systems. So about an hour or 2 after they'd arrived back, I get a phone call from that company saying, long and short of it, you're fucking fired. gross misconduct. You're out doing your job that you're not meant to be doing whilst you're on furlough for us.
How do they find out?
I don't know. I think a customer might have told them, because we had one or two companies that I'd signed up that hadn't been installed because they weren't at work. So I thought, well, I'll just go and change them to the new company and we'll install them and we'll get the money for it. So like I say, it was a little bit naughty, but listen, you fucking with big risk comes big reward, right?
It's business at the end of the day.
It's ruthless. They'd be just as ruthless to fucking me than I would to them. So it's kill or be killed at that point, right? And I'm on furlough with fucking no money. So it is
Everything's ruthless.
Exactly, it is what it is. So I get this phone call. Basically, long and short of it, you fucking fired, gross misconduct, you've gone against your contract, we're going to come and collect the car, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so I knew that was going to happen at some point. It happened a bit sooner than I would have liked. First thought is, fuck, I ain't going to have a car. How am I going to fucking go out to these meetings and stuff? Second thought was, it's got a tracker in it, but they ain't coming all the way up here from Southampton. I'm in Lincoln, they ain't coming all the way up here. Like, I'll send it back on a truck next week or whatever and they can pay for it. So the next day, I remember went to a meeting in Gainsborough, right? And I was sat doing my pitch, chatting to the MD, everything's going all good. He's got a CCTV thing in the corner and he's clocked a police car coming in. And he's gone, fucking police are here. And I've gone, oh, it's Gainsborough, innit? That type of thing happens around here, just having a laugh with him. And he's gone, no, the police never come here. Like, what?
Why would they come here?
Why would they come here? What's going on? Anyway, transpired that Nix had reported the car stolen and the Gainsborough police had found it on the CCTV or whatever around their area and they'd come to fucking take the car whilst I was in the meeting. So guys are like, they're here for you. I mean, what do you mean? He's like, is that your black Mercedes? I'm like, yeah. He's like, it's stolen. They're here for you.
Well, you're trying to pitch to this company.
It gets funnier, right? So I'm like, fuck, how do I save face here? What do I say? So I just came clean with him and just said, yeah, it's from another telecoms company. They put me on furlough. I couldn't earn any money, so I started myself and I'm just doing the same job and just using their car. Like, that's the long and short of it. He went, yeah, that's fair enough. Anyway, still fucking signed the contract, didn't he? I still got the deal, even though the car's been fucking towed by the police with all my shit in the car.
Give us a lift home, mate.
I had to ring my mate Cameron, because he lives in Gainsborough. So I rang him. I'm like, bro, is there any chance you can fucking pick me up from this place in Gainsborough? Like, I've got no car. And I got to the police station to get my shit out of the car. So bless him and his mum came and picked me up, took me to the police station, got all my shit out of the car. They didn't book me or anything or get me in trouble because I said, look, it's not stolen. Like, I've had this car for fucking 18 months, but this is what's happened. They found out that I've been doing this, so it's a bit vindictive. They just want the car back. They rang the boss of the company that I was on furlough from, and the guy did actually fair play to him. He said, no, I don't want to press any charges, we just want the car back.
Could they have pressed?
Probably, yeah, because they've reported it stolen and I'm technically driving around a fucking stolen car.
Yeah, but were you to know? Or?
I didn't have a fucking clue.
Exactly.
Other that, and I didn't even know the day before someone had come to collect it. I only found that out weeks and weeks and weeks later. So to me, it was like, what's happened there? Obviously, the phone call that I got to say you're fired and all the rest of it, I knew about that, but I didn't know they were going to come and like get the car literally the next day. So Cameron and his mum took me to rent a car place in Lincoln. I got a rental car and then just fucking carried on. So it's overcome these situations, don't you? You don't let any obstacles get in your way. You just climb over them. Exactly. So we got a hire car, carried on doing our thing that we were doing whilst we're still building this company in the background. We started the branding, we started to get everything, bank account set up and all the rest of it. And it was like, right, let's start putting now some of the money from these deals into this account. So the money's there and we're good to go. So the first fucking one we tried to do, the first one, we did a deal with them, signed the paperwork. My fucking printer didn't work that I carry around normally. I've got a little printer that I carry around, print the docs out, get them to sign it, on your way. My fucking printer didn't work. So I had to email it to myself and print it out on their computer. Now, the business card that I'd give them didn't match the company name on the documents because we booked it under company 2 and we were trying to put it in the new company's name, High Communications, so we can get the money. Now, if I'd had my own printer, no one knew any fucking different. I didn't delete the file from their computer. So when I've gone, signed the document, done the deal, they're all happy, new phone system, everyone's very happy. They've then gone on the computer and looked at this document and realised that the name on there don't match the name on the business card. So the next day, they've rang company 2 and said, there's a guy here pretending to be a director of your company, and he's actually a director of this company called High Communications. Now, Company 2 don't know about high communications because we've obviously done it in the background, but it's on fucking Company's house. So all they've got to do is search High Communications Limited and it tells you the directors. And directors are listed, me, Liam and Aaron, who were the main people for this middle company. Now, the very fucking fortunate thing was we were so clever. Obviously, these phone systems got call recording built in, as I told you earlier, right? So Aaron had access to every single call that was being made by anyone on that network so that we could listen to the calls that had been booked for the meetings, so we could see the quality if it was a bag of shit meeting or a good meeting, so the quality checked. We could also hear any call going into head office in Southampton. Aaron spotted a call early morning that had gone into the office in Southampton and listened to the call. He's listened to the call and we've got a WhatsApp going, I need to speak to both of you now. We are fucked. So it turns out that they rang and said what I said a minute ago about there's a direct guy here pretending, oh, can you tell us a bit more? Who's High Communications? And you can hear him tapping away on the computer in the background searching. Oh, right, yeah. Thank you very much for bringing that to our attention. Thank you very much for letting us know that. We'll deal with it internally. Now, they're thinking we don't know that because they don't know we're listening to the calls. So straight away, my initial reaction was, I'm going to resign from Company 2 right now, give up the shares that I've got, which I didn't really fucking have anyway, because it was a handshake, right? I'm never going to, probably never ended up giving me it. And they owed me a bunch of commission anyway, like several thousands, double figure thousands that they owed me. So I've just walked away that minute from directorship in that company, probably about 25 grand that they've owed me. And I remember the date. It was the 20th of November, 2020. And it was about 10 o'clock in the morning. I've sent this email saying I resign. So at that minute, I've currently got no job. I've currently got no directorship there anymore. And I ain't got my 25 grand because I ain't going to get it because they know I set up another company. 4 minutes later, my phone went off WhatsApp. My girlfriend broke up with me. 4 minutes later. I'd just come back from the Maldives about 3 weeks prior. She sent me a fucking essay like that, broke up with me.
Of a text?
Oh, yeah. We'll miss that bit out. Yeah, and I'm thinking, I'm just about to tell you what the fuck has happened this morning, and I kind of need a bit of help and some support. Wow.
Thanks.
So the reason I'm telling you this is anybody that's having a bad time now or at any time in the future, no matter how fucking bad it gets, you can come out the other side, because at that minute it was fucking sink or swim, mate, because everything that I'd just been working for the last few months has gone and I've just been fucking dumped. House is on fire. What the fuck? So you can go one of two ways there. You can fucking feel sorry for yourself and go, fuck this, it's over. Yeah, it's over. Or you could do what I did and go, I'm going to use that fucking text message you've just sent me there as my fucking fuel to my fire.
Yeah, the fuel to
to get me going. And this was on a Friday. It was Friday the 20th of November. And you lot, fair play, you caught us out. Yeah, we tried to do what we did and we fucked that up. However, we had a bunch of meetings for the next week still. So we'll just go out and sit in their meetings and we can just do it in the new company name now, no problem. Because they don't really know Company A from Company B from Company C. They just know, just know to set up a meeting, and a guy called Dean's coming to see me. So Monday morning on the, whatever that would have been, the 23rd, is that? That was the first day of High Communications. The first day that we went out on the road doing meetings, and we signed 3 deals that day, that first fucking day. So we started at Highcom with 2 people on the phone. 2 people on the phone, just me on the road doing the meetings, and then December, January time, we employed another person on the road doing meetings because the 2 lads were booking a lot. Point is, get to December, we've done quite a few deals. Where we didn't know what we were doing and the mistakes that we made, we weren't credit checking the companies that we were signing. I didn't know that was a thing. The other 2 companies are credit checking the companies that we're signing to make sure that they're going to pay. Right, so if they're not creditworthy, you can't fucking sign them. We're just signing anybody. Whoever would fucking sign, we're just signing thinking, yes, another deal, getting there, another customer. We did 22 deals between the end of November and the end of December. We ended up installing 9 of them because a lot of them failed credit, won't get passed by the lease company. So all that money we thought we were getting, we're not getting. It was the 23rd of December, and again, I remember this date vividly. I went downstairs where I live. There's a Tesco's underneath where I live. I went downstairs to buy a meal deal for my dinner because I was hungry. My card declined for a meal deal on the 23rd of December because I didn't have enough to buy a fucking Tesco's meal deal. The next day is obviously Christmas Eve. we got the money in from all the deals that we'd done November, December, and I remember I got £5,000 on the 24th of December, and it was like the best day of my life because I'd not had any money since fucking middle of November, and I've had to get by with whatever I had left between then and the 24th. And I remember when I got that money saying, I will never ever be in that position ever again where I've not got something to fall back on. I will not spend everything that I get. I'll be clever enough to make sure I've always got money put away.
Yeah.
So that was a big like turning point for me as well mentally, because my thought process before was, fuck it, you've got to earn it, you're going to earn it again, spend it. And that was what they'd driven into you from the audio branding agency, was they wanted you to spend it because then it made you chase after it again.
Ruins your relationship with money.
Absolutely, yeah, because you don't appreciate it. Like you go and nightclub, 500 quid bottle, yeah, bothered, give me 2. New top, X amount of money, yeah, not bothered. Car costs this costs that, holiday costs this, you just do it. So it got to that point where I'm like, fucking hell, because you've acted like that for 4 years, that's why you're in this situation. It ain't because of what's happened in the short term, it's because of your attitude to money in the long term. So I remember that saying, that will never happen again. We didn't have an office till March 2020. And I remember the day we moved into an office, and I say the office, right? We agreed to take an office above the new bus station. Do you know where the new bus station is in town centre?
Yeah.
Because we timed it was 90 seconds from there to the botanist. So we wanted to be somewhere close to a fucking watering hole so you can have a drink, enjoy yourself, all the rest of it, right? The council took so long to try. We agreed the deal, signed the paperwork. We couldn't get the keys. Like, it's gone on for weeks and weeks and weeks. And we're ringing this guy from the estate agent. My name was fucking Henry, I think, if I remember rightly. And we used to call him Houdini because the geezer just disappeared, mate. We never fucking get hold of him, never find him. Can't get the keys to this gaff, and it's going to make a massive difference us getting an office.
Sounds like council work.
Because you're getting everybody together. If you're getting everybody together, you can create that environment, that team bonding, people bouncing off each other. All that. So we knew it was going to give us a shot in the arm. And at the time, we took out a executive box at Lincoln City. Something that I always wanted to do. I'm a Lincoln fan, I love football. So we took out the biggest box at the ground. Company that had it before, COVID, didn't want to pay for it, hesitated, we took it. So we asked the club, do you think we could use the box in the week as an office space? We don't mind paying a bit extra. Now bear in mind, we've agreed to pay, I think, 1,500 quid a month for the office above the bus station. So we're happy paying 1,500 quid. We said to the club, do you just tell us what you want us to pay? And we'll, yeah, all right, it might not be cheap. We're like, yeah, no worries, no problem. And he'd come back and he'd give us a figure. And as he'd give us this figure, I've had to fucking mute the phone because we've got it on loudspeaker and the 3 of us are in my front room. Me, Aaron and Liam are front room. We're fucking rolling around laughing our bollocks off because he's gone 300 quid a month. And we've gone, oh, yeah, that is a bit expensive, that. But yeah, go on, we'll give it a go. We're like, but only on like a 6-month trial basis or whatever. So we've just fucking saved like 1,200 quid a month or whatever on an office, and we're going to use the box as an office. And it was a really nice environment because the lads are all football fans.
Sounds like.
So they're looking out onto the pitch all the time. They're around a football club in a football environment. There's Sky Sports on the 2 TVs so they can watch that while they're doing the work. The first day we had in that office was a record day for the company. I think we did the most meetings we've ever booked and the most deals that we've ever booked, just because it gave everybody that shot in the arm of, right, this is real now. This is a real company now. Like, everyone's in suits. I've still got the picture. Everyone's in a suit and tie, dressed up properly. And you feel like you're at work. If you feel like you're at work, you'll do more because your brain switches on, all the rest of it. And then from there, it just went from fucking strength to strength. Like I said, we had 5 staff back then, 3 directors, 2 sales on the road, and then the 2 lads or 3 lads on the phone. That's what we started with. We're up to like 25 odd staff now. We've had to move office because there's too many people. So we moved into a bigger office in November that year. I'm massive on little quotes and stuff like that, and I always used to say, and I still say it, success is the sum of small efforts made day in and day out. And if you carry on doing those same things consistently, you'll get a success.
It's the consistency that does it, isn't it?
Absolutely. Anything, whether that's diet, fitness, business, whatever it is, if you do something consistently and you do it well, you'll achieve whatever you want to achieve.
So obviously the last sort of 5 years have been bonkers for you.
Fucking hell.
You mentioned the 24th, you literally couldn't pay for a meal deal.
No.
And then you've turned up to mine today in a Lambo.
Thanks for throwing me under the bus.
So
it's an inconspicuous colour though, right?
Yeah, I didn't notice it, to be honest.
What's the plate as well?
0007 SZE. Which
yeah,
is
it's just unreal.
Yeah.
So how was that for you then? Like, how was going from not being able to pay for a meal deal. Obviously, a lot of fucking hard work.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. But how does that now feel that you're financially stable?
Yeah, obviously it's satisfying. Like, it was a dream of mine as a young kid to have a green Lamborghini. It's just something that I wanted to do, and I never doubted that I would do it. I knew I would do it. I just didn't know how I would do it. But like I said, I've got this unwavering self-belief that even when I had fucking what's a meal deal cost, £3? I think I had about £2 fucking 70 or something at the time. So even going from that, I never doubted. I knew where the end goal was. I knew where I was going to get to. So yeah, it was a shitty situation. But now, no, I'm just relaxed about it. And I'm very much, when I talked about the goals earlier, I share some of the goals and stuff with you because I like to make small goals. Because I'm massive on little wins. You're used to winning all the time. Make the big wins easier to get to because you're always ticking something off. You're always winning. You've got that feeling of accomplishment all the time, which then gets you to a bigger accomplishment, if that makes sense.
If you put like a big goal down on your tick list and you don't achieve it, you almost get a little bit disheartened.
Breaking it down into the steps.
Exactly, and it's fucking scary, right? You say, I want to be a multimillionaire, I want to do this, but you're here. There's a fucking long way to go to get to there, right?
Step by step.
So you're not going to get any satisfaction or sense of achievement
if it's just like that
along the way. You've got to set yourself smaller goals to be able to then get to that.
Enjoy
the journey, right? We say that all the time. Like, we fucking love the journey. We enjoy the journey. We make sure that everybody around us loves the journey. Like the incentives that I talked about earlier, they've carried on with the high communications to a fucking different level altogether. Like, they have been to Ibiza 2 years in a row where we're staying in fucking $4 or $5 grand a night villas. They're going to the best nightclubs. They're getting tables next to fucking John Stones and whatnot in Ushuaia or High or whatever it might be. They're getting properly looked after because without them, I wouldn't have a Lamborghini. Wouldn't be where I am. It's a togetherness. It's a team. We've all got there together. We've all built the company together. So I like to give back as much as possible.
The thing is, obviously, you set your own ceiling in life. You've put it so high so you can achieve that. But what about the other people in your life that are helping you get there? Obviously, you've got other external factors like relationships or things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's probably why touch wood that things are going as well as they are going now, because I am settled. I'm in a very happy relationship. We just bought our first house together. She's made a massive difference to my life. Whereas before, I was probably in fucking bad toxic situations that don't help when you're trying to fucking achieve
sometimes
things.
You don't realise you're in those situations.
No, absolutely. You're in the moment, right? And you think it's the right thing, or you think it's normal, but it's fucking not. But again, both of those sides of the spectrum have done something for me, because like I said, that one gave me the fuel to my fire that fucking gave me that additional motivation to do well. Whereas now I'm reaping the benefits of being settled in a happy relationship, not going out all the time, all the rest of it, because that keeps you focused, right? That keeps, where we're talking about the ceiling, of you setting the ceiling, punching through the ceiling now. Where's the next fucking ceiling? Where's the next one? Where's the next one? You can't do that if you're not focused, and if you're dotting about, being out every weekend and fucking about and all the rest of it.
Surround yourself by the right people.
Exactly, well. Yeah, right. You hear all the cliche things that you hear all the time, like your network is your network is your network.
Show me your 5 closest
exactly
people,
right. And I heard another one today actually, which was really good. How can you expect to be a millionaire if you're not surrounding yourself with other millionaires? People that are hundredaires or thousandaires aren't going to teach you how to be a millionaire. You can only learn how to be a millionaire by surrounding yourself with other millionaires, people that have achieved what you're trying to achieve. And for me, that was I've got no shame in saying it, that was the goal. I wanted to be a millionaire. That was one thing I wanted to do. And now the ceiling's gone. It's like, right, I want to have this much. I want to do that. We're talking double figures. We're talking triple figures. How do we get to that? And it's you finding a way then to take that ceiling to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. I think that's the one thing that I would... Not that I feel like I'm in a position to give anyone advice, but if I was to give any advice to somebody, it's make sure you're always on to the next. Once you've achieved something, what's fucking next? That should be your mindset. Not, I've done it now.
Yeah.
Sit back, put my feet up, and that'll do.
Always have goals and aspirations.
What's the next fucking goal?
What's next?
We've achieved that. What's fucking next? Got the green Lamborghini. What's fucking better than that? What's next?
What is next?
That's a fucking great question. I've been looking. I don't know. I quite like the Aventador, to be fair.
Yeah. But have you seen that new off-road one?
No.
They've made a new like off-road one with like plastic wheel arches and stuff. It's slightly raised. Obviously, it's a Lambo, so it's still really low. But you can take it off-road and stuff.
Fucking hell. See, the funny thing is, I don't actually like cars. I've got no interest in cars. I don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
So I've had like... A couple of times I've had people message me on Facebook saying, my little boy, it's his birthday, for example. There's one a couple of weeks ago. It's his favourite car ever. I wondered if you wouldn't mind just showing him the car. So I'm like, absolutely, not a problem.
How does that feel?
Again, really nice to be able to help out and give back, because, like I said, I'm from a council estate. We used to put fucking tickets in the meter to make the lights come on. My mum would work fucking 3-4 jobs to make sure I had pods or kickers at school, so I didn't get the piss stuck out of me and all the rest of it. So to be able to then try and give back to people that want to be around that type of thing, yeah, I've got no problem. People mess with me all the time, and I'll always try and make time for stuff like that, because I get a sense of appreciation and stuff, like a satisfaction from seeing that person being really happy. I think it was the kid's like 7th or 8th birthday or something. I don't really know the girl. I've never really had any interaction with her or anything of the sort. And she just said, look, would you mind doing this? I'm like, absolutely, no
Like,
problem.
made his week.
But, he came and sat in, but if this is what I'm getting to. So he came and sat in the car and he went, fuck, like, this is a hurricane. It's 5.2, bloody blah. I'm like, is it? I'm glad you know.
He's done his own work.
It's like, it does 0 to 60 in this, that, and the other. I'm like, does it? I was like, do you know what that button does there? Because I've been looking at it for months. I don't know why, maybe you could tell me. But I let him sit in it, and he revved the engine, and he got some pictures in it, and then like took him for a little spin up the road and back, and his mum said it made his birthday, do you know what I mean? But at the same time, I made sure I said to him, make sure you thank your mum for giving that experience, because it was her who reached out and said this, that and the other. And then bless her, she bought me a bottle of whiskey as well, a bottle of rum, to say thank you for doing it. She didn't need to do that, so that was really nice.
Obviously, that's very wholesome, but if we take a lateral sidestep to another wholesome story, Michael Beebe and Ibiza, it's obviously a very different, but how was that?
Wow.
How was that?
Nah, as usual with me, there's a fucking story behind this, right? So I'll tell you the story. But first and foremost, the answer to that is, wow. I've been going to Ibiza for, I can't even say, 13 years. So God knows how many times I've been, and God knows how many do's and raves I've been to. I have never felt anything like the energy that was in that garden for that hour when he came. I was crying, mate. When he dropped the first track and the beat came on, I was in tears. And all the people were crying as well. You could physically see people like emotional about, listen, the guy's like, 1 minute he's on top of the world, he's playing in fucking space in Miami for fucking hours and hours and then days on end. And the next minute he gets that news and his fucking whole life's changed like that, right? So you look at that and it's scary, right? Because if it can happen to somebody like that, it can fucking happen to anyone, right? So where he's made that quote recently about one life, live it, I think it's made me realise that more than ever now. But yeah, wow, what a fucking incredible experience. And I was really lucky to be there, because it was sold out. Like, it was literally sold out. I was in Ibiza for my mate's birthday from the Sunday. I had a room booked till the following Monday, but I promised a girlfriend I'd go home on the Wednesday. I didn't want to take the piss. I've gone without her. I've gone with a few of my mates, and I said, look, I'll be home on Wednesday, so I want to stick to my word. I don't want to say I'm going to do something and not fucking do it. The Solid Grooves lineup, I know, gets released on a Friday. It's on Thursday night, and on Friday morning, it tells you who's on the next week. Friday morning, that following week, there's no lineup. Right? There's nothing come out. Saturday, nothing's come out. Sunday, nothing's come out. Sunday night, there's a picture on Instagram of Bibby being released from hospital, right? And straight away my brain's going, he's fucking playing his closing part, you know. People are going, you're mental, he's come out of hospital, he's not doing it. I'm like, I'm telling you, he was doing press-ups the other week, like, trying to get strong and that. Like, I'm telling you, if he's got the opportunity to do it, it's his life, he loves to do it, it's his event, he's going to do it. Nah, you know, you're off your head, you're talking. I'm all right, no worries. So the next day, the lineup comes out. It gives you everybody who's playing, and it said, and special guest. So again, my head's going, nah, it can't be. It can't be.
I'm dreaming.
It can't.
Yeah.
Maybe it. So I'm like to my girlfriend, I'm telling you, Bibby's going to be there. Nah, he's not going to be there, you're dreaming. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I didn't think anything of it. I flew home on the Wednesday, right, because I said I would. So my mates are still there. I flew home. I must have got the 9 o'clock at night, something like that, flight. By the time I'd got back to Lincoln, to my house, it was probably 4 in the morning. By the time I got back there from getting an Uber and
It's
whatnot.
about 7 hours door to door, isn't it?
Something like that, yeah. So I'm banged out of sleep. Bosh, gone to sleep. I woke up about 10, 11. And while I'm sleeping, by the way, you know when you're sleeping after a beef, but you're not sleeping?
Yeah,
and I'm having these dreams of Bibby's playing, right? And I'm not kidding you. I'm having these dreams of he's playing, and I'm going to miss it. And I'm like, nah. I'm waking up going, nah, it's not real. So it gets to like 11. I've got 5 people sent me an inbox, and it's fucking Michael Bibby's story on a plane. So I know what's going on now. What have I done here? I have fucked the job royally here, because I claim to be a massive Bibby fan. I've been going to see Solid Grooves since it was in the back club at fucking Privilege called Vista, maybe 5-6 years ago, before anyone who knew he was. So for me not to be there that would have really hurt, and I'd have really fucking been angry with myself and disappointed. And like I said, it was a moment when you were there, like you just knew you were lucky to be there. So I woke up, I put a story on saying, if any of you lot on here think I'm not going to be there, you're fucking mistaken. See you at the front, right? Now I've done that without checking the flights. Got in the shower, packed my bag, went to book a flight. There's no fucking flights. None. I've looked from everywhere. Every airport in the UK, you tell me one, I've looked. I've even looked from fucking Dublin, and I've looked from Milan, thinking I'll get a connection over there, and then I'll pop from there. No, none, fuck all. Now, remember I said earlier we did an incentive, and the lads went on a private jet. I've messaged the guy. Bro, I need your fucking help. I need to get to Ibiza right now. Is there any dead legs or anything of the sort? He messaged me back, no dead legs, only full charters, but we can charter it from East Midlands to Ibiza. It's going to be 10 grand. And I went, how quick can you get it there? And he went, it could be there in like however long. I'm like, I'm on the fucking way now. I didn't give a fuck what it cost. He could have told me anything, right? And anyone that does not believe me, I'll show you the fucking text message, right? Because I don't talk shit, talk facts, right? I didn't give a fuck what it cost. I'm a massive Michael Bublé fan. I wanted to be there. I'd have moved fucking heaven and earth, right? I'm driving to East Midlands and he rings me. We've got a bit of a problem. I said, what's the problem? He went, I can't get the crew from Biggin Hill in London to East Midlands for another 2 hours. I'm like, bro, if you do that, I ain't getting there till like 10:30. My man's on at 10. Yeah, I need to be there at 9. 9:30 the latest, but 9 ideally. Do something. I ring you back. So I'm still driving fucking East Midlands as fast as I can. He rings me back. He said, I just cannot get that crew there, but I've done you a favour. I said, what have you done? He said, there's a Jet 2 flight from East Midlands at 4:45 to Ibiza. Now I'm looking at the time, it's 3:30. Yeah. So it's an hour and 15 minutes before this flight, and I'm about 8 miles away. So it's in fucking sport, and we're going, right? So he said, somebody's not turned up for the plane. There's a spare seat. I've spoke to someone at Jet 2 that I know. I've saved you the seat. Go to the desk, pay for the ticket. I went, how much is it? He went, 120 quid. I went, fucking no problem. So I got there, parked the car, fucking abandoned the car. Like, you know, there's short stay car park. Fucking, I don't know where I parked, just abandoned the car. It might have been still rolling for all I know. Got my bag, ran to the fucking desk, got my ticket. I got the ticket at 4:45 flight. I got the ticket at 3:50. So less than an hour before the flight took off. Now, as it transpires, I went to the bar and I've ran into a few boys from Lincoln, Lupo, Wemron and all them. They've happened to be on the fucking same flight.
Unreal.
So I've had a beer with them. I thought, this is fucking sound. I'm not on my own, no worries. What row are you on, lads? 8. What about you? Fucking 7. So I've ended up sat behind people that I know as well on the way to Ibiza. Plane gets there at 8:30 Ibiza time, because obviously it's an hour in front. He got there about 8:30. Now he's on at 10. So everybody on that plane is fucked because they've got to go hotel, check in, put their bag in, get changed, all the rest of it. I thought ahead. My mate who lives there drives to every event. Every single, don't get no taxi, he fucking drives and parks his car. So I rang him before. I went, are you driving to DC10? Yeah. I said, need you to meet me in the car park. So I got off the plane, got a taxi to DC10 car park, got changed in the car park, put my bag in the back of his car, walked round the front, wristband on, bang, straight in. Unbelievable. Again, from networking with people over the years that I've been there, there's a VIP bit in the back of DC10. It's got your own bar, your own toilet, some seating area, and it's where all the DJs and everybody hang out. So if you're clever enough and you do a bit of networking, you can speak to people out there and you'll know who to text in future to be able to say, can you sort me the wristband or can you sort me that? Now, usually them wristbands are €150. You'll go to the doorman, ask for a certain doorman, have the money ready, and they'll sort you out. All the people that know that trick went to DC10 at fucking 6 o'clock, bought all the wristbands, and then started banging them out at whatever money you want, 250, 300, 500. Now, luckily, my mate bought me mine, who's put his car out there. I think he charged us 275, something like that, but people were fucking paying 500, 600, 700, whatever they could just to get them, because no tickets. But with these wristbands, you don't queue either, right? So all the people that have even got tickets, there's a fucking queue, so you're still struggling to get in for 10 o'clock. So yeah, luckily got the wristband straight in, got quite close to the front. You knew it's still not been confirmed that he's coming on, still not been confirmed that he's the special guest, but you can feel the energy. Everyone's talking while they're dancing. You kind of feel that it's going to happen. Paul's playing before him, who's his label mate. They run Solid Grooves together. And Paul's is playing tracks like Wookiee Battle, where the lyrics are, every day is like a battle, but we'll overcome. And then you're playing that because my fucking man's on next. I know you're playing that because he's on next, right? And then, all of a sudden, music stopped, lights went off, lights come on, and this message started playing that he played at a Solid Grooves event a few months ago saying, Groovers, it's BB, sorry, I can't be there, all the rest of it. So at first, you're thinking, fuck, he's not here. Then the lights come on, the beat dropped, and it was him. It was fucking incredible. Honestly, that was...
But the feeling, because what you've been through the entire day...
Oh, it was just to get there.
Yeah.
I'm buzzing just to get there. And then getting there, and then that happening, it was fucking unbelievable. It was only an hour, 10 till 11, but fuck me, wow. Everyone's got the... Like, I don't really like people with their phones out on the dance floor and stuff, but you couldn't not. Yeah, I've even got mine out doing it because it's something that you want to relive time and time and time again, but you just fucking...
You don't know how many opportunities you're going to get to see him again as well.
Lucky because I've spent a lot of time out there speaking to the right people, networking.
Great story.
I think that is literally the longest pod we've done so far.
Sorry, I did tell you it'd be long.
Mate, it's good, it's good, mate.
Sorry,
And I could probably go out another hour or two probably because I've gone through so much and done so much. Didn't even mention me fucking nearly dying the other week either.
Go on, quickly tell us that.
I don't know how we're going to get into it. I was in Mykonos. How can we spin it to... Don't know. Ask me if I've been anywhere else this summer.
Been anywhere else this summer?
That's not scripted, is it? I went to Mykonos for me mate, Aaron, business partner's 30th. He's having a good time, all the rest of it. Went to a nightclub, Corolla was on. We got a table. And in Mykonos, everything's kind of stony. It's not proper like table and chairs. Everything's kind of made out of like Greek stone or whatever. So where I'm sat here is where you're meant to sit. But I was kind of sat there with my feet on this bit, and then I would stand up and kind of dance on that bit where you're meant to be sat. It's quite loud. Aaron's in front of me, and I've leant over to say, I don't know what I was going to say to him. As I've leant, he's moved forward, so I've landed on top of him, because my balance is fucked, obviously, because I've leant forward. I've landed on top of him, he's gone through the table, smashed all the bottle and glasses and everything. I've just landed on the broken glass, right? Now, I didn't feel anything in my arm. I just remember falling, thinking, fuck, I hope no one saw that. I'm well embarrassed. That hurt my back. And then Liam picked me up. And as he picked me up by the arm and he went, we need to go to the hospital right now. I went, why? He went, don't look at that. I went, what do you mean? He went, just don't look at it. I looked down as a fucking pool of blood like you've never seen. I got kicked out the club. They didn't help me. I got kicked out the club, right? And I've got my arm up here and my arm's just like cartoon, mate. It's just doing this. And I'm going, am I going to be all right? Am I going to be all right? And he's going...
What, gushing blood?
Like a cartoon, bro. Yeah, like a cartoon, right? It's doing that. And I'm going, am I going to be all right? Am I going to be all right? I'm more bothered about... I've got a new fucking Louis Vuitton two-piece on that I've just fucking bought. And it's right red. That's fucked. That's what I'm looking at the minute. Not even thinking about my arm. And we got in the street and Liam's shouting at people, ambulance, ambulance, please take us to the hospital. Take us to the hospital quickly. One of the other lads come out, Jamie, and he put a belt around my arm there. That probably saved my life, to be fair. He put his belt around my arm, strapped it up. I've kept my arm in the air. It's fucking still pouring my blood. Nobody would have anything to do with us in the street because they didn't want blood on them or blood in their car or anything of the sort. We were waiting for an ambulance and it just seemed like fucking forever. Like, I was going to him, if I don't make it, can you do this with my money? Can you give this to this person? Can you do this with this? Like, I'm kind of resigning myself to, I'm fucked here. Because
Do you genuinely think that you weren't...
Bro, like, I'm looking at everyone's face around me and like they're panicking. Everyone's trying not to panic, but fucking panicking, right? And I'm at that point, I'm just starting to admit that I'm done here. I've had a good run. Like, I'm fucked. So I remember seeing an ambulance in the distance, thinking, I hope that's for me. Now, I don't really recall too much of this, but apparently I passed out. So my legs went, I'm gone. I woke up on the ambulance with an ambulance guy slapping me in the face, going, Dean, 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 Dean. I've come round like that and I've gone, am I all right? Am I all right? He's gone, yeah. I've got a fucking cannula or whatever in my arm. My arm's up here. And I heard him say to Liam, he needs to be airlifted to Athens. We're in fucking Mykonos, right? He's like, he needs to be airlifted to Athens, like, now. So we've gone, yeah, okay, yeah, no problem. And then the guy's gone, but we need money. They were like, okay, how much? 15 grand they wanted, right, for an airlift from Mykonos to Athens. And he wouldn't fucking take me until we could prove that we've got the 15 grand, right, or we're paying the 15. Now, we're pissed at this time, all of us. So everyone's fumbling around with their phones trying to fucking make stuff work. I'm in this ambulance fucking bleeding out, basically. I didn't know what had happened, but I'll come to it. I'm going out back and forth, out and forth. I've got air and that. And we get to this, what I thought was a hospital. There's no fucking hospital in Mykonos. It's just a room with 3 beds, right? So the doctor's looking at me. They're sorting this payment out. And they're like, right, it's done. We're waiting for the plane. I'm like, what fucking... Tiny little plane turns up like a private jet. There's me, Liam, the nurse and the doctor. Fly us to Athens, to this fucking hospital. Get to the hospital. That was the 15 grand was just a flight. They looked at my arm and said, right, we're going to need to do this, this, this and this. It's going to be about 18 grand. Can we see that you've got the money? We need it now. We need you to pay. They didn't give a fuck about whether I'm going to die or the insurance or anything. They just weren't paying, right? So again, everyone's messing about trying to sort out. So turns out I severed an artery and a vein in my arm, and I was basically fucked, long and short of it. So I would have bled out if they didn't take me to Athens. My mate asked, he went, just out of interest, if they didn't have the money to pay for the flight and the procedure, what would have happened? I would have put him on a ferry to the next island, which is 2 hours away, and then he would have sat in A&E. I don't know why I'm keeping my hand up still. I'm holding it up still like it's still happening. But the scary thing is, yeah, I'd have fucking bled to death because it had taken 2 hours to get there in a ferry.
And they wouldn't have done anything about it.
I don't give a fuck.
Unreal. Well, mate, thank you for your time and your unreal stories.
Boys, pleasure. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. I enjoyed telling the story.